Hello, I'm Dalia Colon, and this is WEDU Arts Plus. If you eat an amazing meal, but you don't post a pic on Instagram, did it even happen? In this first segment, we'll learn hacks for taking better food photos from South Tampa-based photographer Chip Weiner.
My name is Chip Weiner. I am a photographer here in Tampa. Have been a photojournalist and a food photographer in general, probably for 30 years. So way back in the days of film is when I started. I think I was given a film camera for high school graduation. It's such a typical story, and a lot of photographers, older photographers will tell you this, that they've taken some pictures and then they go in a dark room. This photograph appears on this piece of paper and fell in love like that, which eventually led into shooting for Creative Living newspaper here in Tampa for the last 12 years, doing everything from photojournalism to food photography for them. They had a food critic who would go in and eat, and then they would send me in to take food photos of what he ate. There's kind of a share generation now, that people are around and they want others to experience what they have experienced. That is relatively new, especially with the advent of Instagram. Some tips as far as taking some better photos. First thing is, put a little extra effort into it. Pay attention to what you're seeing through the camera. Desserts tend to photograph the best because restaurants put a lot of time and effort into making them just look awesome. If you're going to shoot in a restaurant, don't be afraid to ask for a table next to a window. If you don't have a large light source, so if you don't have that large window, there are other ways. Listen, I've seen people light food photography with their phone. A lot of the photography that I do, at least on social media, is I call it run and gun. No special consideration from the kitchen, no special consideration from the restaurant. I want to show in my photography and I want to experience, if you go into a restaurant and you sit down and eat this dish, what does it look like?
The cool thing about Chip is that he doesn't let you know he's coming. Now that's a good thing, because then you're not running around, pulling out gold lobster tails out of the freezer and making it happen. He's a customer just like anybody else. But it's very impactful.
What we're looking at is, these are some of the photos that I've seen on Yelp. I looked at an egg sandwich at a restaurant recently, and what I like to do first is sometimes go online to see what they're serving, which is what I did. And there I saw some photos, and I'm like, okay. It's shot in a styrofoam box. It's a good-looking food, but it gives it no context. So as I went in there, I'm looking around, how can we set this up so that you get a feel of the place, because it's sort of a nostalgic place, and I went in and reshot the egg sandwich, and it looks very different from what I originally saw on Yelp. Not criticizing Yelp. They have a lot of good food photos on there, but there are some on there that could certainly be improved. So what I wanted to do with the egg sandwich is I wanted to show what the context of the place was. Again, it's a nostalgic restaurant. It's been around for a long time, and they had a lot of nostalgia around. So I put items on the table. One of the things that I encourage in food photography is give food a presence. Instead of shooting it from above, shoot it from the side. If something is tall, let it be tall in your photograph. Then show what's in the background. So this was at a brand new restaurant in town. Believe it or not, that's grouper. Brown food, by the way, is really difficult to photograph. So what I did with that same dish was I put it on a plate, I put something in the background, I lit it a little different, I added some color and some candlelight, and it's the same dish, just with a very different view. So that is a meat dish served right here at Factory 4914, which can be a beautiful photograph. Unfortunately, that one, there's just not a lot of lighting or composition consideration. So I saw that and I came in and again, wanted to add some color, wanted to add some background, wanted to show this is what it's like to sit in this restaurant and eat this dish. It's got some candlelight, it's got a nice drink in the background. I typically will put some flatware in so that you get some scale. Everyone knows the size of a fork. They don't always know like the size of a scallop, which can be small or large. And I think the last one that we'll see there really speaks to color. How do you use color? And you can go on any retail website online and buy a color wheel for a couple of bucks. learn what complementary color is, and use that. Even if you're in a restaurant, if you've got something blue, a lot of times something brown will go with that. If you've got red, a lot of times something green will go with that. So here's some tips for people at home, because one of the cool things about cooking at home is you control the whole place. You're not waiting for someone else to deliver food. Go to a secondhand store and find some different kinds of dishes. If you spend $10, you're spending too much. One tip that I will use strongly is never shoot on a red plate. Red does not render well in digital photography unless there's an absolute reason to do it and you know what you're doing. White, light blue plates tend to work well. Darker plates are a little tougher to render. Put those muffins, stack them up or cut them. I love cutting food and seeing the inside of it.
Food only stays for maybe a couple minutes, if not maybe an hour. But when you get a fantastic photo, that's a memory, that's something that you can share and project to other people that can last a lifetime.
One of the things that I like putting food on Facebook, for example, is to encourage people, if you're out taking photos, make it better. Take a little extra time to really make that shot delicious and make people want to eat it and try it. And when you're ready, look online and learn about two things, aperture and shutter speed. Those two things interact on most cameras, and if you learn how to adjust those, your food photography is going to improve significantly.
For information on Chip Weiner's photography classes, check out chipshots.com.